Hello and welcome everybody back to LWN Network. It is good to see you. It is Monday, March 31st, 2025. This is the beginning of the week of another set of headline hits for you guys. I hope you had a fabulous, wonderful weekend. I know that I did. Hello to everybody that's in chat listening now. And I want to say a special hello to those of you who will catch this broadcast live or recorded later. We have a lot to cover this morning, like we usually do, some interesting things developed over the weekend. But I want to remind you guys as well, we are heading up to April 2nd, which is on Wednesday. And we all know that is our Liberation Day that President Donald J. Trump keeps talking about. And that is when the tariffs are going to go into effect. So it'll be interesting to see over the next couple of days if there are any other countries or any other people that come forward to accommodate what President Trump said about tariffs, you know, the reciprocal tariffs that are going into effect. So we'll keep our eyes on that for you guys as well. Looking up to Liberation Day on Wednesday. Also, a reminder that we have the LWN News Network that is live 24/7. The mods do drop that link in our chat for you guys, so make sure that you like and subscribe to that channel as well. We just keep it flowing 24/7 for you guys. And then a little fun thing that we like to do as well, and it's on Rumble only, is we have our own LWN Network MTV type channel that is on Rumble only, and it's on 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays. Sometimes we're able to do Fridays too, but we always put a thumbnail out to inform you guys when we are going to go live. There is a DJ that we have, a wonderful DJ that will play all your video requests. So think of it as MTV back in the day. It's similar to that. You can make requests. We have great live chat and conversation. We do appreciate donations, $1, $2, $5 to be able to get your video pushed forward ahead of everybody else, and just to support the channel and the DJs and all the producers that we have behind the scenes that try to make the channel best for you guys. I know I've joined in a couple times and it really was a lot of fun. So those are some things that we have going on here at LWN for you guys. As we keep developing this channel, we're still working hard behind the scenes to get everything up and running the exact way that we want it to be. But in the meantime, thanks for your support. Thanks for joining us. And I'm going to go ahead and get started in headline hits here because we've got a lot to cover this morning. The first thing that we have to cover is apparently Trump is upset with Russia, according to NBC's Meet the Press, where the president made a phone call to them and stated, "I am pissed off with Russia's President Putin and threatened to impose secondary tariffs on Russia's oil. Quote, if Russia and I are unable to make a deal about stopping the bloodshed in Ukraine, and if I think it was Russia's fault, which it might not be, but if I think it was Russia's fault," Trump stated, "I am going to put secondary tariffs on all oil coming out of Russia." Mr. Trump said 25% tariffs on Russia oil could only happen at any moment that he decided, and told NBC he plans to speak with Putin this week. So that is some good news to have a conversation. The president told NBC, quote, "I was very angry, pissed off when Putin started getting into Zelensky's credibility and started talking about new leadership in Ukraine." And we know the dealings that Trump has been trying to make between the two, Ukraine and Russia, for a peace deal, a ceasefire deal. He's been working very hard on that. He's had numerous phone calls and White House visits by the two presidents. And like I said, he's really working hard. So he's not very happy with Russia at this point. But the good news is he will be talking to Putin this week, and we'll definitely keep you guys posted on that. Next up, we have Iran rejects talks with the U.S. on Sunday, and Trump threatens bombing as never seen before to prevent the terror-supporting state from becoming a nuclear-armed power. This happened on Sunday. Iran came out and said they rejected the talks that President Trump offered them. And as we reported, Trump said early in March that he sent a letter to the so-called Islamic Republic's supreme leader, the Ayatollah al-Khamenei, proposing direct talks over Iran's nuclear program in order to prevent a military confrontation. And we spoke about how it was only a matter of weeks before they would be able to have those nuclear warheads and be able to use drones to deliver those warheads. And that is something with uranium and everything that we did not want them to keep producing this. Trump talked to them in early March. after Iranian-blocked Houthi rebels in Yemen continued to launch missiles at Israel. That's when Trump was really upset. He said, as well as the U.S. Navy they bombed at, and international shipping in the Red Sea. Remember, they tried to control that and block that like they've been for so many years. Trump said that Iran would be held directly accountable for the actions of its proxy. The Associated Press reported that Iran had rejected Trump's offer and that Trump threatened bombing in response. Iran's president said on Sunday that the Islamic Republic rejected direct negotiations with the United States over its rapidly advancing nuclear program, offering Tehran's first response to a letter President Trump sent to the country's supreme leader. Now, President Mossad Pezeshkian said that Iran's response, delivered via the Sultanate of Oman, left open the possibility of indirect negotiations with Washington. So that's a little bit of good news there. The White House, the State Department, and other officials offered no immediate reaction to this announcement that happened on Sunday. However, Trump did say before the president's comments that he was considering military action and secondary tariffs if Iran does not agree to a nuclear deal. He said in a statement on Sunday, aired by NBC News, he said, if they don't make a deal, there's going to be a bombing. It will be a bombing like the likes of which they have never seen before. Iran really has no effective air defenses after they were largely destroyed by Israel in retaliation for the ballistic missile attacks last year. However, Iran is possibly gambling that Trump is not going to dare to follow through with his recent threats of military action. However, we know that Donald J. Trump, our president, the leader-in-chief, does not make empty threats. So we definitely have to keep posted on that, pay attention to that news story. Next up, we have unlawful happenings in the Texas House of Representatives over the weekend. On Friday, the House chamber was scheduled to convene, but what unfolded was not democracy in action, basically. It was a brazen sham orchestrated by the very person sworn to uphold the Constitution. We have to pay attention to all these different things that are going on, you guys, in regards to houses, Congress, and everything else in our local areas. Speaker Dustin Burrows, a so-called Republican, was caught red-handed falsifying quorum by counting 40 absent lawmakers as present in a desperate attempt to ram through proceedings in a violation of Texas law. The Texas Constitution is clear. 2/3 or 100 members must be present to establish a quorum in the 150-member chamber, and yet Speaker Burrows attempted to manipulate the electronic voting system to fake quorum numbers, allowing business to continue unlawfully. And this is why this is important, and we pay attention to it. There were only 63 that bothered to show up today, said Rep. Brian Harrison, who exposed the fraud in real time. Harrison demanded a verification vote, and the results were damning. Only 65 members could be verified, and that's not even close to the 100 that is required. House leadership tried to take the votes anyway. I objected and demanded verification, Harrison added. Every member was notified over a week ago on March 20th that Friday's session was happening, yet most couldn't be bothered to show up, and Burrows tried to paper over their laziness with a lie, he stated. With no quorum and no official proceedings, Speaker Burrows encouraged current members to come to the House chamber later in the day for an unofficial recognition of the former lawmakers. Capitol staffers were reportedly notified to sit in the chamber's vacant seats to help make the room appear full. This is how many people are involved in this. It isn't just one person. It is all the people that are doing wrong that we have to pay attention to and vote them out of these seats. Imagine the audacity lying to Texans' faces while playing pretend politics in a chamber built to serve the people. The lawless did not stop there after Friday, because on Saturday, the House did reconvene for its first weekend session of the 89th legislative session, and Burrows' clown show hit a new low, apparently. He said, "Good morning, Texas. This is the first Saturday we've been asked to work this session after 10 long weekends. The House is scheduled to convene at 10 a.m. Will we have the constitutionally required quorum today? ? The session lasted, listen to this, a measly 8.8 seconds, barely enough time to blink before Burrows and admitted yet again, that no quorum existed. Harrison's staff counted just 28 members out of 150. Only 18% of the House showed up for work. Harrison demanded a roll call vote with strict enforcement to prevent proxy voting fraud, but Burrows completely ignored him flat out. The Texas House broke quorum 2 days in a row. Members are required to be here. And Harris said, I demanded a vote this morning from Speaker Burrows, who ignored my request. Texans deserve transparency. And according to the request from Harrison, the Texas House, under the leadership of the newly elected Speaker, Dustin Burrows, has not only appointed a Democrat, Joe Moody of El Paso, as Speaker pro tempore, but has also handed over the leadership of half of the chamber's newly created subcommittee to, get this, Democrats, even though he's a Republican. The decision comes despite a clear Republican majority in the House, and Texas is solid red conservative state that went to Trump in 2024 by 14 points. But thanks to the disgraceful support from 36 supposed Republicans and 49 Democrats, he managed to cling to his position, Harrison stated. Now he's repaying his Democratic friends by handing them a significant role in the legislative process. So that is not comfortable. That is not good. And that is why we pay attention, because we don't know if that's happening in our own backyard if we're not paying attention to what is going on in our own backyard. So that was a very upsetting story to me. They just try to get away with it. They've been getting away with it, and they just think that we are stupid or we aren't paying attention and we aren't going to care. But this is different this time around. We do care. We are paying attention. Next up, we have, this is going to make a lot of people freak out at even the thought of it, you guys. It has been mentioned in jest before over the years, as we've heard and know, but Trump is saying he is not joking when asked about seeking a third term. He says, a lot of people want me to do it. And listen to this, there are methods which you can do it. But right now it's far too early, he said, to think about it or even talk about it. The president says he's focused on the current. Amen to that, because we know there's a big mess that we need to clean up on all the different states, all the different things going on in this world. But he did say one of these methods, and other people have stated as well, which I've heard recently over the weeks, that J.D. Vance running for office and stepping down for Trump to take over. But there are others too, the president added, refusing to share more with NBC when he spoke on the issue this weekend. War Room host and Trump advisor Steve Bannon told Chris Cuomo, I'm a firm believer that President Trump will run again in 2028. I've already endorsed President Trump, doubling down on his comments, if you remember, that he said at CPAC in February. We've had greater long shots than Trump 2028, he said. We've got a lot of stuff we're working a lot on, and he said we're not prepared to talk about it publicly, Bannon stated. So this is definitely a story that we will be following, as well as most of the world, should that come out. But I know there are some people's heads are going to explode. They're going to say, see, we told you, he's going to get in that office and never get out. Next up, we have, this was kind of surprising and interesting to me, because I don't know how, if you own two companies, you can sell a company to another company, but that's exactly what Elon Musk did this weekend. He sold his social media platform X to his artificial intelligence company XAI in a $33 billion all-stock deal, deepening his push to integrate generative AI into one of the world's most influential tech platforms. So the deal was announced on Friday, the merges of two of Musk's most highest profile ventures under a single AI-driven vision. And it raises new questions about how X could evolve from here, basically. What's going to be the purpose of X and XAI merger? Well, in a post on X, Musk said that the transaction will unlock immense potential by combining XAI's advanced artificial intelligence capabilities with X's massive user base and distribution reach. He emphasized a future in which data, models, computer power, and product development are shared across both platforms. So it's an all-in-one, basically. Musk launched XAI in 2023, a year after acquiring Twitter for $44 billion and renaming it X, as you guys remember. xAI's flagship product is Grok, an AI chatbot that's already integrated into his X platform for paying subscribers. The company has also used data from X posts to train its language models. Musk valued xAI at $80 billion and X at $33 billion in the transactions. Since both are privately held, though, they're not required to release financial disclosures publicly. So Musk is positioning the new xAI X combination as a way to deliver smarter, more meaningful experiences to billions of people, while also advancing what he described as a shared mission to seek truth and advance knowledge. X users may already be familiar with Grok XI's chatbot, which is available to premium subscribers on X and embedded into the platform's daily user experience. As part of Musk's broader tech empire, including Tesla and SpaceX, the deal signals a continued effort to fuse basically AI with consumer-facing platforms, using real-world data to power machine learning tools. It's unclear what, if any, immediate changes to X users can expect. xAI was already using X data to train its models, and its chatbot was already integrated into the platform. So the deal may signal deeper product convergence, but Musk has not announced any specific updates to user policies or platform features. But I found that very interesting for sure. And then next up we have, I think this story is really going to upset a lot of people, actually. The story started over this weekend, and we know that Elon Musk is continuing with his Doge disclosure, exposure, and transparency. Well, he has claimed that roughly 2.1 million non-citizens received Social Security numbers in 2024. And as we take a look at this and we break it down, Elon spoke at a conference alongside his longtime friend, Antonio Gracias, CEO of Valor Equity Partners. They started out at the top of the system, mapping out the whole system of Social Security to understand where all the fraud was. Well, there's a lot of great people that showed us a lot of waste. So that came with a big list of stuff. But this is what jumped out at us, Gracias said, as he pointed to a chart. So there's video out there you can go look at this conference that they had, and they have charts out there. But in the meantime, it says in 2021, you see 270,000 people that are getting Social Security numbers, but it goes all the way up to, check this number out, 2.1 million are getting these numbers in 2024. These are a reminder, non-citizens that are getting Social Security numbers. As to how 2.1 million non-citizens received Social Security numbers in 2024, Gracias said that the previous administration had a policy that allowed migrants to enter the country and then register Social Security. When you come into the country, if you're illegal, there's a couple ways to come in. You can come in through a port of entry, and you can tell them you're afraid, and they'll give you an asylum case. You'll get an interview, and then you get in. There's one way to do it. Another way is to jump and just go across the border. Walk up to the border patrol officer and tell them you want to come in. They have a couple of choices. They can change or charge you with a misdemeanor or a felony under 1325, or they can make it an administrative offense, which is similar to like a parking ticket, basically. And they were told to do that. Make it an administrative offense under the last administration, which means you could walk across the border, they could release you on your own recognizance, and they give you a notice to appear at the judge. And we've talked about this for many years. You just have a notice. But this is the clincher. This is the loophole. The wait time on judges averages 6 years. So for them to appear in court, it will take on average 6 years. There's only 700 judges, and this is a 5.5 million people that were let in, Gracias continued. He said, once you're in the country and you've got an asylum through one of these pathways, you can apply for a work document. You file a 765, you get this form called a 766, and then the Social Security Administration automatically sends you in the mail a Social Security number. No interview, no ID, he concluded. And a reminder that Doge is working hard, that this is kind of the corruption that they are unveiling to us on every level, from judges to the illegals, to how they're working, and we're finding out all the details. And this is very simple. Even though the loopholes and all the laws are complicated, the way this is broken down is very simple. And this is how we're seeing all these millions of illegals here that are staying here and that are working and receiving Social Security numbers. It's incredible. And the last little point of today, Elon only has a limited amount of time to take care of all that corruption and what's going on and expose all the things he can during Doge. Because remember, he is a special government employee. He's set to step down in May. He's only got 130 days that he's allowed to work, because beyond that 130 days, he would have to become an official government employee, which really doesn't seem to serve him because he's got so many other companies to oversee and whatnot. I don't want to speculate. I'm just saying that he only has a certain amount of time until he has to become a official government official to keep continuing in Doge and heading Doge like he does. So this is why they're working so hard. They've exposed a lot, and I'm very thankful and grateful to him and his team. These are intelligent people that are wanting to find the truth. And the last little bit here, if you think about it, all the different things going on with Teslas, the way they're burning them, they're exploding them, the way they're protesting. Remember, these are the very same people that loved Elon back in the last administration. They were the ones that thought he was the best. Now that he's exposing corruption, they don't like him anymore. They want nothing to do with him, and they're putting his Teslas and the companies and people's lives in danger because they don't like his exposure. So to me, it makes zero sense that the people in this country who are anti-Elon and anti-Teslas now makes no sense, because why wouldn't you want to know an accounting of your money, of your parents' money, of your great-grandparents' money, and what has been done with it? If it's been taken away from you, why wouldn't you want it brought back into this country, back to you and your families? Why would you try to harbor that? And it's because a lot of them are illegals. A lot of them are against all this exposure, because then it's going to take money from their pockets. And that is how deep the corruption runs, unfortunately, in this country. And I, for one, am thankful that they are uncovering it and exposing it, because you know what? If you tell the truth and you're on the up and up, you have nothing to hide. And it's the people that have something to hide that are all in the uproar. So we have to remember that. Look at how they behaved before with Elon and Teslas, and look how they're behaving now, and ask yourself why. And those that are against Tesla and against what Elon's doing, it would be great to have a good conversation with them to say, why do you feel that way? Why don't you want to know what's been going on with our money? So that's what I have for you today, this Monday, March 31st, 2025, for Headline Hits, you guys. I will be back tomorrow for another one, April 1st, 2025, another Headline Hits, always here on the LWN Network with Tammy Nation here, Monday through Thursday, noon Eastern Standard Time. So have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Stay safe. I know we've got some severe storms that are moving through our area, and some have been moving through different parts of the Midwest as well over the weekend. So take care. God bless. Stay safe. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.